Hello. Republics and autonomous areas are struggling for sovereignty. The center and republics are having debates. Today, in the Kremlin, at a joint session of the Supreme Soviet, Gorbachev spoke. In the session of the Kabardino-Balkaria region, we discussed issues relating to the declaration of the Balkan independence. Islam Karaminov is the first candidate to the presidency of Uzbekistan. Belarus and Kazakhstan signed an economic cooperation agreement, and in Kyiv, the All-Ukrainian Interfaith Forum started work today. The Soviet American Anti-Cancer Society is sponsoring a no-smoking day. The Supreme Soviet held a joint session in Moscow today. Gorbachev spoke at this joint session and noted that the state disintegration has reached a dangerous level and is accompanied by the disintegration of the economy and society. Analyzing the huge budget deficit, Gorbachev brought forth one solution: radical economic reform. For now, however, bank credits are vital to sustain the government budget. Ivan Salayev agreed with this opinion, saying that the Gosbank or the state bank must give credits to sustain government programs. The People's Deputies loyally agreed to a multi-billion ruble bank credit to be accounted to internal debts. The session was peaceful today, more like a seminar than parliamentary debates, but during the breaks, sharp dissenting voices were heard. This is People's Deputy Kucherenko. Gorbachev said everything was okay, all agreed upon, but Salayev stood forth and said that the special budget, which is vital for government existence, has not been approved by Russia and the Ukraine, who make up 80% of the budget, 90% of the budget. People's Deputy Cherenchenko, I am upset today because the debts which are being created today will be paid off by our children. The evening session of the Union Council continued discussing a bill for the rehabilitation of repression victims. Today on Central TV, a full account of Gorbachev's speech was broadcast. Gorbachev's speech during a joint session of the chambers of the Supreme Soviet. Events in the Chechen Ingushetia turned the Caucasus Mountain region into an area full of contradictions. The English-Northern Ossetian border situation has become severe. There are territorial disputes around the city of Vladikavkaz, from which the English people were deported in 1944. Currently, settlers from Southern Ossetia reside in these areas, and a whole generation of Southern Ossetians have been brought up in this region. This is the Deputy Chairman of the Council of Ministers of Southern Ossetia, Kadyrgiev. We can try to return all the land, the houses of the people who were evicted in 1944. Among our democratic intelligentsia, there are people who support such measures. What about the perspective from Grozny, the capital of the republic where the English people currently reside? This is Dudayev, president of the Chechen Ingushetia Republic. Political rallies cannot resolve the situation. Troops must be removed from these areas, and the English and Ossetian officials must talk out their problems without the presence of an arbitration judge, without a third party. The problems could be solved. The English people want to return to their lands and remain within the Russian Federation. Ossetians want their interests protected. Compromises must be found. Peaceful compromises. The press office of the President of Kazakhstan made a statement today about the reported talks between the Kazakh leader Nazarbayev, and the Chechen English officials. These reports are not true. The position of the Kazakhstan president remains the same as before. He believes that inter-ethnic conflicts must be resolved only with parliamentary and political actions. The defense minister of the Chechen Republic, Bekov, retired. His motive was that he wants to devote more time to parliamentary work. The former defense minister stated that the external threats to his republic have decreased. The Chechen Republic's neighboring region, Bulgaria, has declared its independence. November 17th, the First National Congress issued a declaration forming the Balkan Republic and the national sovereignty of the Balkan people. The Supreme Soviet of the Kabardino-Balkaria area supported Kabardino-Balkarians' membership within the Russian Federation and moved to gather representatives of the Kabardino people. The elections of the Kabardino-Balkaria area will be delayed. They will not be held on November 24th. In Tashkent today, the plenum of the Central Soviet of the People's Democratic Party commenced. At the plenum, party candidates were nominated for the Uzbeki presidency. The chairman of the People's Democratic Republic was selected. He's the current Republican president, that is Islam Karamin. We remind you that the 8th session of the Supreme Soviet of the Uzbek Republic declared that elections will be held on December 29th for the Uzbeki presidency. Russia is at the forefront of economic reforms. Now the decrees must be followed by real actions. Much depends. Much will be discussed upon with an interview, which will be broadcast with Boris Yeltsin. The G7 delegation concluded its visit to Moscow. They met in the Kremlin today with Gorbachev. This meeting was difficult, in part due to last night's refusal by the Ukraine, Azerbaijan, and Uzbekistan to sign the October memorandum on the joint foreign debt responsibility of the Soviet Union. This jeopardized the possibility of new credit extensions. Gorbachev stated that his conviction that the economic union and the prospective political agreement of the republics will help overcome the crisis. Yavlinsky speaking right now. If the 9 republics take joint responsibility for the debt, our creditors will see this issue as being resolved. They will receive money from at least 9 of the republics. As far as those who did not sign the memorandum, they should be treated as anybody, any legal body who does not pay their debts. The G7 is using the debt issue to support our reforms and to channel our reforms into a beneficial and effective direction. Commenting on the G7 talks in Moscow, the Voice of America noted that the main issue of discussion was foreign debt. The Soviet foreign debt currently is $80 billion. Experts say that it could be paid off by the resources of Russia and the Ukraine. The Duma of the Moscow Soviet issued a document on the social protection measures with the introduction of free market prices. The document noted distribution of basic food products throughout the city using ration cards. Russian Justice Minister Fedorov declared that all CPSU Politburo members and their secretaries will be subject to court proceedings. The Supreme Soviet of Georgia issued a decree on the formation of a commission for the inventory of Soviet Army property located within the Republic. A Congress of Officers of the Baltic Military Sphere demanded that all military property within the Baltic region be given over to military authorities. Experts appraise the property to be worth $150 billion. In the Nagorno-Karabakh region, near the village of Kirakir, due to bad weather conditions, a helicopter crashed with members of the Observer Commission from Russia and Kazakhstan. Among the casualties, Among the casualties are the People's Deputy of the USSR, Jafar Masmedov, Director of the Azerbaijani Presidential Administration, and the Prosecutor of the Nagorno-Karabakh region. We express our deep sympathies to the families of the deceased. Today, at midnight, the gas pipeline to Romania was supposed to resume work. For 17 days, Romania has been left without oil due to an Azerbaijani oil embargo. We would like to show you how these pipelines and energy power plants are working, but we cannot do so. Talks between official delegations of the two republics were not successful at resuming the oil flow to Romania. There will be gas in Romania, however, soon, due to a pipeline which is being constructed through